Good morning and welcome, everyone. We have a couple of new faces, so just want to introduce myself. My name is Landon Rank. I'm the Associate Director with SB ACT, and we are partnering with the City of Santa Barbara to facilitate these Regional Action Plan RAP meetings for a couple of our high-impact neighborhoods in Santa Barbara. So we'll be talking about homelessness issues on the east side today. And just to start us off, we have a couple general announcements, and then we'll hear directly from the service providers. So share my screen. We don't have anyone today with us from Good Samaritan, but we did just want to make sure everyone's aware that it is past November 15th, so it's officially our rainy and cold season, which means that there are warming centers that are open whenever the forecast is below 35 degrees or there's more than 50% chance of rain. I do believe they are still looking for a faith community that can open up next week between December 17th and the 23rd. I think there was like a miscommunication, and so looking for a downtown Santa Barbara space. So if anybody has any tips, please do reach out to either myself or the email address that's listed there. We wanted to invite you all to consider joining us for the Longest Night Memorial. This is an annual memorial that's hosted nationwide, actually, to commemorate those who passed away on the streets. Oftentimes, there's not a memorial service for those individuals, and so we want to take some time to acknowledge them and also just acknowledge the ways that we want to keep seeing more people getting off the streets in our community. And so that'll be next Thursday, 5:15 p.m. in front of the county courthouse, kind of on Anacapa Street. I'll put the link. You can RSVP in the chat window, but if you're able to make it out, we'd love to see you there. Another general announcement, the annual point in time count is coming up on January 24th. So this is our annual count of everyone who's experiencing homelessness throughout Santa Barbara County. This is something that's mandated by the federal government. So every county across our state and throughout the country is going to be conducting this count. And it requires hundreds of volunteers to wake up at 5:30 in the morning. So it's no small feat. We would love to have as many of you sign up to volunteer as are able, and especially to volunteer on the east side, since you all are the most familiar with that area. This is a really helpful way for us to just get a quick snapshot of the actual numbers, to get a sense of the trends in our community, whether there are certain populations that are increasing or decreasing. And it also dictates the amount of funding that our community is able to receive for homelessness from the federal and sometimes state government. So it's really important that we get as many volunteers as possible. I don't know, Jed, if you want to add anything to that.
No, yeah, I think you pretty much covered it. The east side of Santa Barbara and the west side of Santa Barbara are pretty densely populated, and so we definitely need the most volunteers there. But also, depending on where you live, if you're driving up from Ventura, we'll need volunteers in Carpinteria. If you're out towards Goleta, we have Goleta and Isla Vista as well, and then of course North County.
So I'll put that link in the chat window as well for everyone.
And even if you're not able to help, if you could just share this as far and wide as you can, the more people that see this, the more people sign up. So if you could please help by sharing, that would be really greatly appreciated.
So here's kind of the general timeline over the next month or so. So Longest Night Memorial, as I said, is next week. We will not have an Eastside RAP meeting on the 29th of December. So our next meeting will be in January of 2024, if you can believe that, January 12th. And then the point in time count will be on Wednesday, the 24th. And then finally, just because we have a few new faces here, we will be hearing from the service providers in a moment, but I wanted to make note that we do have these little, this is not the correct card, but we have these little info cards that have who to call for different issues. You can see some of the numbers listed here. There's also a QR code on the back of the card that will take you to a longer homelessness resource directory. So we want to get those into the hands of as many community members as possible. Just so you know, there's different different places to report different kinds of situations so that we actually can get the situations resolved more efficiently. So if you're interested, please do just let me know and we can make sure to get you some of those cards. And with that, we will go to our service providers just to hear check-ins from around the neighborhood. So I see we have a couple folks from Path on the call, so why don't we start with Path?
Hello, everyone. This is Odin at Path Santa Barbara Outreach Specialist. Just a little bit of an update since last time we spoke. I'm continuing putting all of my focus on Cacique Street. There's still a few tents out that ways, but I built some pretty good rapport with the folks right across from right in the post office that a ways. All of them are looking for beds to get into either Path, Rescue Mission, shelter, or other shelters. But right now we've had, and all the service providers know this, we've had uh, all of the beds have been full throughout the city. So for the past 2 weeks, so we're just kind of waiting on another place to open up, at least for emergency shelter beds. Just a couple of days ago, we've successfully got 2 people off Cacique Street into the Santa Barbara's transitional housing program. So unlike an emergency bed where they're kind of kicked out during the morning, they can stay on the inside. They get 3 meals a day. They get case management. They get all of the stuff needed for them to really rebuild. So shout outs to the Rescue Mission folks there, Kylan and Jerry Ann, for their added help. I'm currently working on getting one of my clients on Cacique reunified with their family. I touched base with their client's sister over in Utah. So we're trying to get, so thanks to the city's help, we managed to get a plane ticket. So next week she'll be off the street and home for the holidays. And one more good piece of news: one of my clients did get into Pat's rapid rehousing program. Although she's still with the rescue mission, she's in touch with caseworkers to help her navigate. She gets funds to help pay for your first month's rent deposit, in addition to, supportive services for a good 2 years to help her, transition off the street and into home and into her hopefully forever home. Lovely lady, sharp as a whip, but she's with this added help, she can get, it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming for her. So got a lot of pretty good updates. And if there's any questions, please let me know.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Let's go to our CityNet team.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yeah, so we've been providing our usual outreach and engagements in specific areas, Cacique, Eastside, Milpas, along with the railroad tracks in that area with both surf team, along with our PLHA and City of Santa Barbara team. Like Odin mentioned, we've been working really close with Odin, like always, doing an amazing job over there. Not only follow up on community concerns. Thank you, Susie, for all that you do. From our board reaching out to me, having any concerns in the area, from there able to connect with Odin along with our teams to be able to, help with that. I was there 2 days ago on Cacique. So this is probably the city too, along with the work that we do. The street looked amazing. So either it was the same day that you guys just cleaned up, or looked like the sidewalks were like power washed or something. But it looked great. So I know, just consistent ongoing outreach support, opportunities, and by the city going and cleaning and clearing up. And with the storage program coming up fairly soon, we'll be able to continue provide the added support to the businesses along with the residents on the east side. We've been going to outreach at Dwight Murphy area. It's actually been pretty clear as well. I got the update from the team, along with being able to provide an individual support with Odin getting back home. So that's a big win for all of us. We were able to purchase that plane ticket. I believe Odin's going to be part of the transport on Monday, just to reunify, this individual with this family and, continue hopefully making progress in that route. But with that, we have just been working with the clients, in that area. A lot of them, we have one that you guys might, our familiar with, has been brought up in past meetings, was released from jail. So you guys might see him around, but we are working back with this individual to re-engage in possible opportunity in the future of getting back into path when bed availability is there. But that's always a win to be able to have the beds full. You know, of course, we always want more shelter, housing, and that's the goal for everything. In order to provide these individuals a safe space off the streets. But it's also a win when we do have the beds available because we're able to engage with them, work on them with case management, provide service plans along with housing plans. So I do want to, that's the update that we have right now, but just continue reaching out to myself and our team, and we'll connect the proper resources and support for the businesses and community when there are individual specifics concerns in the area.
Thank you, Al. And really, really appreciate hearing the story about the individual getting home for the holidays. Is there anyone from Good Samaritan on the call? I don't believe there is at the moment. So can I circle back to you both, Path and CityNet, and just ask about holiday closures? We talked about this at the State Street Rep meeting yesterday, just so community members know.
Yeah, so I provided my team with the days off, like the I believe it's the 24th. Let me look at the dates. I gotta get it correct. The 31st, but actually update for Liz and for the team. I actually have coverage. Originally, I was gonna have I gave the time off for my weekend team on Sunday the 31st, and then the 24th. But I already have coverage for the 31st. So I'm offering that extra overtime and availability for these days because we want to provide the support to the community in the area. But overall, we will have staff throughout the week. But on Christmas Day, we won't be having any staff provided services. But I would say 95% throughout this rest of the holiday and coming into the new year will be we will have staff available throughout the area, and I'm always available even during the holidays. So please reach out to me, and then I can let you know what we're able to do for you at that time.
Thanks, Al.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow with Path. So I personally will be out from the 22nd up to January 3rd, but the facility and the outreach hotline will still be manned by my supervisor and my supervisor's supervisor all throughout that time. So you can still get a response from there, with the exception of Christmas Day. So
And then Shannon, since you're on the call as well with the YMCA Youth Navigation Center, can you share about holiday closures?
We're just closed Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, which means we're open for drop-ins on the 22nd. We're open every Saturday for drop-ins from 9 to 1. So drop-ins, it's 9 to 1 Monday through Saturday. So someone will be here for the 23rd, and then we're just closed New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So we're open that Saturday for drop-ins too.
Right. Thank you all. So if you happen to be out and about during the holidays and you see any of our outreach teams or see any of the shelter staff, please give them a big shout out. Drop off some holiday cheer if you think of it. And with that, or actually, let's go to the city of Santa Barbara as well. Let's go to Joelle and Liz.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned it a few times. The city does its annual holiday closure of non-emergency administrative offices. Will be closed from December 22nd and reopening on Tuesday, January 2nd. Joelle,
I will be available. So if anything needs to be done, Susie, give me a call. Anyone give me a call or shoot me a text, email. I will be making myself available during the closure.
I would like to mention the county does basically the exact same thing. Any non-emergency personnel between the 22nd to the 2nd, we will not be available unless it's an emergency. Of course, we'll all still have our emails.
Thanks, Jet. And then Joelle, do you want to share any updates just from the city of Santa Barbara in general?
Yes, we've been focusing on Cacique Street this whole week. I was out there with Commander Casapas's team this morning. Um, we also went out on Wednesday. We received a call from Susie, and Monday as well. We've been really focusing on Cacique and just a little bit of an advisory. I know next week we're going to have rain coming down for about a week. With the lack of beds and the warming center, people experiencing homelessness are going to seek shelter. They're going to be on the underpasses. So we will be out there trying to keep them, moved, give, access to the sidewalk. We will have our contractor out there picking up trash. We're not going to kick them out into the rain, but once the weather clears, we will ask them to please exit the underpasses. But just be aware, they will be seeking shelter in the underpasses.
What can community members do to support that? Would dropping off blankets or trash bags or food, or I know during hot weather, there's always an ask out for like flats of bottled water. During cold weather, what is the most helpful thing for those people just seeking temporary shelter under the underpasses?
Yes, definitely everything you mentioned, blankets, trash bags. We will be out there handing out trash bags, doing welfare checks, but anything helps. Yeah, thank you.
And I saw Fernando on the call, so I'm hoping he might have an update, good news on a warming center site. I
Good
know it's
morning.
something that we're still looking for.
Yes, so I just got out of court with the client, but I did. Landon actually contacted me, and I be following up after. But yeah, we got the client you guys asked about yesterday out of custody right now. I know it's kind of off topic, but towards the end of the, can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, I'll be following up, but as far as the warming center goes, we will be anticipating opening up. So we'll be ready to go, and all the notices that go out typically and regularly will be out.
Thank you.
Al, did you want to chime in?
Yeah, I just had a quick question. You might not have it, Odin, for Odin and Pat, because they're probably going to be, sounds like the week worth of rain and everything. I know in the past, there's kind of, you guys were able to keep more individuals in during the day and not kick them out after the night. Do you know if you heard anything about that, a possibility of that being able to happen again? Because I know that helps out, especially with the underpasses and more out, especially if it's consistent rain throughout the time. Or is it
Yeah,
something that you're able to bring up?
I got to get in touch with my supervisor. Well, I mean, Carmen and Jeff, see if we will be doing that. More than likely so, but I just don't have a schedule for you. I'll let you know.
All right, cool. That's awesome. Thank you.
And then,
And when,
go
real
ahead, Al.
quick, one last thing. Yeah, and so in regards to that, I will make my team available for transports to warming centers along with Pat interim, inclement weather beds. So if there's anyone in the community or anything, reach out to me if you see someone that might need that support and a little bit further from the areas once we get the locations. Please reach out and then we'll do our best to connect with them. If not, get them some bus tokens or something available.
That's awesome. Thanks, Al. There was also a question in the chat about whether anyone is distributing ponchos to individuals.
That's a good suggestion.
Yeah, any donations on this side would be great.
I don't know how available ponchos are in California, rain ponchos. Florida, sure, but that's actually a really good suggestion.
You can buy the plastic ones on mass online, so it'd just be a matter of if anybody's able to get them to probably our outreach teams with CityNet or Good Samaritan in the
Yeah,
path.
that might be something worth exploring on the service provider side. I think that's a good idea. Thank you.
We do have ponchos that we do distribute.
Great.
It's part of some supplies that we do give out, just typical outreach. But they go fast just because they're kind of one-time use, like literally one-time use, and it's they go fast.
Yeah. I know sometimes I think we might have missed the boat on this one. There's collection drives for like backpacks and jackets and stuff. Uh, a nice poncho would probably be a good thing to add to that wish list.
Definitely, I think next week, I mean, next year in preparation, kind of for this year, that definitely be something
Yeah.
for everyone when we gather those type of things to put on that list. Some, and maybe not the one use, like, so maybe some good ponchos. I think
Yeah.
that would be great.
And then Fernando, we've been going through all the services and asking about any holiday closures. Can you share about the Good Samaritan schedule over the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, so our schedule shouldn't really change. It's been give me 1 sec. Our schedule shouldn't really change as far as just the staple holidays, and so the 25th will be out of the office, but we'll be kind of just those main days. We're not observing any holidays or anything. We don't get like a week off or anything. But we'll be continuing our normal outreach efforts.
Excellent, thank you. All right, with that, let's go ahead and open it up for questions or concerns from the community.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where are they at on the motel that they're renovating over there on Fairview and Hollister? For the home.
Yeah, so the latest update is that should be opening the end of February. There's been some soil contamination issues with, I guess, some things that were in the property previously, and so they've had to keep pushing it back. But that's now the current update.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, I was just curious. Thanks.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, because that will be about 60 individuals experiencing homelessness who are able to move into permanent supportive housing at that point. So.
Oh, so that'll be permanent. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, Sylvia.
Good morning, everybody. I'm speaking here on behalf of Susie. Just want to thank you, Al, Zhao, Odin, all you guys for doing the work that you do. We appreciate you coming out after us raising some concerns. It definitely made a difference. The challenges we're having in the last couple weeks has been our drivers being able to get out of the yard. I believe had to call the police department this last week because we had an individual that was just refusing to move. And that was when they were trying to depart at about a 6:30 time frame. Like we said, I think the last call, we just feel like some of the individuals have gotten to be a little bit more aggressive and challenging. We used to be able to go out and kind of move them along, and it hasn't been so easy lately. So just something to keep an eye out on. The other thing is we have some cars that have been out there and have not moved. What is the protocol for these individuals? I mean, how long can they stay out there without, before they get towed or they have to move? Because, there is a white truck out there that has some suspicious activity out there, and it's a concern because it's obviously attracting individuals. And so do we know where we're at with that truck and the owners of that truck?
I can speak to that from the police department. So the vehicle code allows you to keep a car parked on the street for 72 hours. So once you go past 72 hours, the vehicle's towable by what's called vehicle storage, street storage. So in order to enforce that, you have to provide, typically we provide a warning, but we also have to mark the vehicle. So we'd have to come out and physically mark it and then come back and confirm that it hasn't moved within 72 hours in order to enforce it. So the best way to do that is to report that via our abandoned vehicle hotline number. I actually don't have that off the top of my head, but if you just Google Santa Barbara City vehicle hotline number for abandoned vehicles, you'll find it. That is goes to a message recording that's looked at every day, and then we assign parking enforcement officers to go out and tag vehicles for towing. So that's the way that you would do that. Just keep in mind, typically people Once they know their vehicle was tagged, they'll move it. And as long as they move it a reasonable distance, then the process starts over again. So sometimes it's not a super effective process for that, but that's the way that you go about reporting that for abandoned vehicle hauling.
Okay, thank you. The other thing is, as far as schedule goes, Marburg is here throughout the holiday week. I mean, the only 2 days we are closed is Christmas Day and New Year's Day. So we appreciate the ongoing support that maybe Al's team or Jal can do. Obviously, I know there was more cleanup efforts out there this morning after you guys did a cleanup. Even a couple days ago, they were able to pile back up there again today. And so just, a warning, right? I mean, I appreciate the holiday weekend everybody wants to take, but we're here and whatever you guys can do to help us to keep that area clean. The trash has been it's been pretty bad because you have individuals there that are not wanting to use a trash can and dispose of their trash. So whatever help we can get to just make sure we keep that area clean would help, as well as the sidewalk free from being blocked, because yesterday at about 1 o'clock, we had a full encampment out there blocking the entire driveway. I mean, the entire sidewalk. And so if we can just get some help on making sure we move them along, that would be very helpful.
So I just posted on the chat the number that Commander Katsapas was talking about to report abandoned vehicles.
Okay.
And yeah, whenever a vehicle is blocking, Joel, how does that work if an encampment is blocking rite of passage? Is that something that's immediately removable, or does that also require a 72-hour notice?
So the word does get thrown out a lot about an encampment, and I just want to clarify what the city defines as an encampment.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be somewhat of a structure, wooden cardboard, a tarp, a tent. An individual just standing outside with their property is not an encampment. That's just a person standing outside with their property. If the other element is if they have a non-designated kitchen facility. So if they're out there with a burner and they're cooking, that's another element of an encampment. If it is blocking, we do ask them to move. Besides that, we do have to post for 72 hours any encampment that fits the elements of an encampment. Yes, so if it is blocking the right of way, we do ask them to move. If they are combative, we do contact Commander Katsapas' team to assist, but we do, especially if it's blocking Marburg's trucks from coming out, there is an element of danger there. So we do go through our toolbox and look for something to help us out.
Yeah, just to clarify, it was somebody with it was a setup of a tent that was out there, and it was a fairly large tent that was blocking the entire driveway. And our safety department is just not, they don't even feel safe approaching the individuals anymore, just because they are a little more agitated. They saw a couple of them with some scissors, and they just thought, well, it's best to just not address them, and we'll call the police when these incidents happen in the future, just because they no longer feel safe.
Perfect. Sylvia, Susie has my number, and I've also posted it on the chat. Next time you have a tent, please give me a call. I will head out there.
Perfect. Thank you.
Fernando?
Yes, I just kind of, I don't know if this has been answered already, but kind of just want to ask the question already. Is the city, the SB Connect app, would that be appropriate for individuals to use as well in these situations?
Yes, I'll post it on the chat. Yes, if you want to use SB Connect, it will be classified and filtered out and sent over to the appropriate department, which would be us, and we will go and address it.
Perfect. That's kind of just a little shout out to SB Connect.
Yeah.
as well.
I also remember maybe 6 weeks, a couple months ago, Path, didn't you hand out or give out a flyer that had a bunch of resources on there that people could connect with as well if they have, for reporting an encampment or suspicious behavior or someone who might need help.
We did, yeah. And on that flyer, it should have the SB Connects. Actually, no, it should have the old link to the encampment reporting site. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to my supervisor, see if we can get that updated.
Okay, yeah, because that was super well received. I passed that out to a few local businesses.
100%, yeah.
And then there was a question in the chat window about the tents along the post office and whether those are being, what the response is to those ones as well.
Yes, I noticed them this morning. I did post them for 72 hours. The cleanup will be on Monday.
Okay, you answered my question then. Yeah, because I noticed they've been there for quite a while now. Now they have all their tents and stuff along the fence there next to the post office.
Yes, so we were there on Wednesday. We received a call from Susie. We went around the post office. There was no camps on Wednesday, but I did notice it this morning and I did post it.
Great.
Oh, and there's also a question for you in the chat window about whether you were able to connect with anyone from the post office.
Not yet, just frontline staff. I wanted to try and get in contact with the postmaster, so I'll try and check in on tomorrow. I mean, today. Today's Friday. Yeah, today.
And I just wanted to add, in addition to all the reporting formats that we have, just because we know that area is high priority for us, our officers, our code enforcement team, they all know that to just check that area periodically also. So we don't just wait for reports. We also proactively drive by the area. So, but, reporting still helps us keep track of information. So I don't want to discourage people from reporting, but I just wanted to also add that we proactively drive by that area and check out the situation on the ground.
Thanks, Liz.
Question, as far as who's the contact person or who can we contact or partner up with regarding the amount of graffiti that's on the wall behind the Hilton? Do you know who can support us in making sure that gets cleared up?
So if it's the actual Hilton property, that's private property, they would have to address that. If it is not, that will be under Union Pacific. I could reach out to them to see if they can cover that up.
Perfect, thank you.
In general, graffiti can also be reported through the SB Connect app, correct? Thank you.
Yes, that's correct.
Really appreciate this conversation today. Anything else?
Hey, Landon, I just wanted to reiterate, this is Fernando with Good Samaritan. If any community members on this call or anyone in general, same thing with Santa Barbara Police Department, if they ever have anyone who just has questions for the warming center on how to get a hold of us, just reach out to me. I will have my contact information in the chat. And yeah, that'll work. Even if it's just a conversation, I'd be happy to answer any questions for the community.
Thanks, Fernando. All right, we'll go ahead and close the meeting to community members. We want to wish you all really happy holidays. Big thank you to all of our Marburg staff who are working through the holidays as well. And we look forward to seeing you either next week at the vigil or in the new year. So thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.